better daily, where we work hard in our minds, bodies, and our spirits to become 1% better every single day. Download the app and join our Betterment family at betterdaily.live to catch the video version of these podcasts. Here's your host and my dad, Alex Van Houten.
What is up, Betterment family? This is Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Happy Tuesday. It's Nutrition Tip Tuesday, and I'm very excited to dive into a nutrition topic with you that will help you on your 1% better journey. So, I have a question for you, and the question is, how much protein are you eating every day? Today's topic is protein, and the vast majority of people that I've come across on a regular basis are not eating enough protein in order to improve themselves 1% better every day. And I need to explain to you why that's important and what those numbers look like. So let's dive into it. First, we are in the Faithful 40 Challenge, and it is the 25th day. I had to look at my watch because I haven't made my post yet. It is the 25th day of the Faithful 40 Challenge, and we are in the growth phase of the Faithful 40 Challenge. And so the first phase is the integrity phase. We're getting everything in our lives lined up such that we can be integrated, such that the different parts of us can be put together toward a specific purpose. And the second phase of the Faithful 40 Challenge is the grit phase. You have to stick with it because that is when it is easiest to fall off the wagon, is day 10 through 20. But now we're in the growth phase. And the growth phase is where if you have stuck with it, then this is the time frame where you're going to see adaptations from the changes that you've made. Now, that word adaptation is a very important word because an adaptation is a change. It's something that is a lasting change that comes about because of a stressor. So you are a biological being, and that means that you can withstand stress without completely breaking down and turning into mush and discontinuing your existence, right? And one of the powerful processes that life goes through to handle stress is called adaptation. It means that when something difficult happens, that difficult thing is processed, understood, and then responded to. The younger you are, the faster and more naturally this process happens, and the older we get, the harder it is for our body to adapt, but it's still very possible for it to adapt. And so let's say you started walking at the beginning of the Faithful 40 Challenge, and so you start walking 30 minutes a day, and that's hard. You haven't been doing that, and so now, your legs are a little sore and your butt's a little sore, and, day 11, you're like, oh, this is dumb. I hate walking. I don't want to walk anymore. It's so cold outside. But you stick with it, right? So you stick through the grit phase. Now you enter the growth phase, and so that's about 20 days in, between 20 and 30, and in the growth phase, what happens is the body's like, all right, well, I guess we're walking 30 minutes a day. So we better adapt to this. Our soleus needs to get stronger. Our mitochondrial density needs to increase. Our blood volume needs to increase. Our lung capacity needs to increase. And so all of those things begin to change and build a better you. And that's one of the really cool things about the 1% better philosophy is that you can get better. And it's built into you biologically to adapt in that way. So you're in the growth phase of the Faithful 40 Challenge, and you've been doing something consistently, and now your body is responding to it, right? Maybe you've been lifting weights, maybe you've been going to bed earlier, maybe you've been eating more protein, which we'll talk about in a second. And so now your body's trying to adapt. Now this is the rub. This is where this whole protein thing comes into play, because adaptation requires resources, okay? Adaptation is your body building itself anew, building itself to be able to handle what it is that you throw at it, or handle what it is that life is throwing at you right now. And in order to build itself, it needs building blocks. It needs things that it can use to grow. Imagine that you have a house you want to build, and you get a plot of land, and it's beautiful, and you draw up the plans, and they're awesome, and you show up with your hammer and nails, and you're like, I'm going to build this house. But there's no lumber. Uh-oh. Good luck with that. You're not going to be able to build a house without the right materials, and your body is in the same boat. If you ask your body to adapt to something, which you do, even if you're not exercising, you're asking your body every day to adapt to temperatures and to adapt to stress and to adapt to new people and to adapt to learning new things. You are asking your body regularly to adapt to things. If you're asking your body to adapt, but you don't give it the building blocks, and in this case, the building blocks are proteins. Okay, we have fats, we have carbohydrates, and we have proteins. Those are the macronutrients that make up our dietary intake. Carbohydrates are energy only. Okay, they're an energy only molecule. Very, very cool, very, very powerful, very, very important. Fats can provide a large amount of energy, but fats can also be used to help build particular cell structures. And then there's proteins. And proteins give you very little energy, and they're used very specifically for building. You can think of those as the bricks and the lumber that make up your body, that build up your body. And most people that I work with are not getting enough protein on a daily basis, not just like in general. I mean, on a daily basis, most people are not consuming enough protein, and yet they're still asking their body to adapt, and they're still asking their body to build itself back again, and they're still asking their body to get stronger and to learn new things and to adapt to stressors and learn new people and all that stuff, but they're not eating enough protein. Look, dude, if you want your body to get 1% better every single day, and you want it to keep up with the demand on your life, then you have to, it's non-negotiable, you have to feed it enough protein. So I was sitting across the table with a guy recently, and he's like, look, I don't know what happened, but about 2 years ago, it seems like my metabolism slowed way down and started collecting fat around the midsection. And like, can you help me? I've heard you know a lot about testosterone, and I'm pretty sure mine's in the tubes. And so we went down the list. You know, you need to get enough vitamin D in order to have a good stable level for your testosterone to be built out of it. We need to make sure that you're not low on magnesium. And guys, this guy is a trainer. He trains people on a regular basis. He works out really hardcore 5 days a week. Like, he's in this health and fitness thing, okay? He wasn't taking vitamin D. We fixed that. He wasn't doing enough magnesium. We fixed that. And then I got to protein, and I said, how many grams of protein are you eating in a day? And he said, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I don't get enough. And I said, just ballpark it. How many grams of protein are you eating in a day? He's like, well, I haven't journaled my food in like 2 years, but if I did, I'd probably be getting around 70 to 80. Okay, look, this guy is 180 pounds. Okay, 180 pounds. He's getting 70 to 80 grams of protein. And I'm about to tell you how much protein you should be getting, and then you can understand why this guy's metabolism has, quote, slowed down. He is not supporting the best in him. He is not giving his body the building blocks he needs in order to move forward. And so what's the recommendation? What's the recommendation for protein? You need, this is without working out, without conditioning, without any of that, you need at least half your weight in grams of protein every day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you need at least 100 grams of protein in a day. You weigh 120 pounds, you need at least 60 grams of protein in a day. That's bare minimum. That's just to live. That's just existing. Okay? Not to mention the fact that every year we get older, we get worse and worse at breaking down protein. Okay, so like 10 years ago, I could eat 100 grams of protein, and 100 grams of protein would end up in my bloodstream. Cool. Young Alex was producing lots of digestive enzymes, broke those proteins down into amino acids, and boom, they're in my bloodstream. Yes! But 10 years later, I'm breaking down protein a little less efficiently. I'm not creating as many digestive enzymes. So if I eat the same amount of protein right now as I did 10 years ago, then I'm not going to get the same amount of amino acids in my bloodstream. That's not good. That means I need to eat a little bit more so that more will end up in my bloodstream. So at least half your weight. Okay, that's bare minimum. Now, if you start exercising and you're asking your body to adapt, okay? Now, for me, that looks like weight training 2 to 4 days a week. It looks like cardiovascular training 2 to 3 days a week, right? So it's a pretty intense exercise regimen to get adaptation out of my body. For you, it might mean, look, I haven't been walking a lot, and now I'm going to walk 30 minutes a day. If that's you, you are asking your body to adapt. You are exercising. So if you are exercising, asking your body to adapt, you're creating a stressor for your body to stand up to, and it's difficult. If that's where you're at, your protein intake needs to be more than half your weight in grams, okay? The actual recommendation is how many pounds of lean mass you have. That's how many grams of protein you need in a day. So I might have lost you there. So let's say you weigh 180 pounds. No, that's hard math. Let's try 200. I can't do that in my head as well as I'd like. 200 pounds. I weigh 200 pounds. Okay. And I'm working out 5 days a week. I'm exercising. I'm doing something that's asking my body to adapt. How many grams of protein do I need? Well, at a bare minimum, you need 100. If you're not getting 100 grams of protein, you might as well stop the conversation now because you're not giving your body what you need to recover every day. Now, what about adapt? That's how much we need to recover in a day. What about how much we need to adapt in a day? Well, if I weigh 200 pounds, and let's say 150 pounds of me is lean body mass, and the other 50 pounds are fat. Okay, so fat mass would be 50 pounds. This person would be 25% body fat. That's what their body composition would be. If that was the case, 150 pounds of lean mass, 50 pounds of fat mass, that means they're 25% body fat. That means 150 pounds of lean mass. That means this person needs 150 grams of protein per day just to maintain their level of muscle mass. Most people are not doing that in the least. And the reason I'm harping on this is because so many people that I've ever talked to about improving their body want their body to create results without the right building blocks. They're not feeding it building blocks. They're like, it's just like telling somebody, go build me a house. Here's a hammer. Here's some nails. What about the wood? Oh, don't worry about it. But I still need you to build that house though. And so this guy sitting across the table from me, he's like, I don't know, my metabolism's slowed down, I'm losing muscle. And I say, how much protein are you eating in a day? And he's like, I don't know, probably like 60 to 70 grams. This guy needs to be getting 150 grams of protein per day. And he's not even been eating half of that for the last 2 years. Well, no wonder you're losing muscle and gaining fat and feeling unenergetic and like think your testosterone's in the tubes because you've been operating at a protein deficit, not a calorie deficit, a protein deficit for years. That is the number one fastest way to completely ruin your fitness. You can take that to the bank. Number one fastest way to completely ruin your fitness. Actually, it's probably number two. Number one is don't do anything. But once you've gotten past the don't do anything, you're actually doing something, you're actually moving on a regular basis and asking your body to adapt. The number two thing you can do to shoot your fitness in the foot is stop getting enough protein. So, are you getting enough protein? How much protein are you eating in a day? Have you ever tracked that before? That's the place to start. All these recommendations are contingent on how much you exercise and how much you weigh and what your body composition is. The best place to start is just keep a journal. How many grams of protein did you eat today? And let's start there. Let's see if that makes sense, given how active you are and how much you weigh and whether or not you might need some more protein. Because chances are you probably do. Guys, this has been Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Thank you for joining me for Nutrition Tip Tuesday. I hope you'll check your protein and join us in a powerful growth phase for this Faithful 40 challenge. Until next time, it's just 1%. You got this.
Thank you for joining us for 1% Better today. Don't forget to subscribe for the podcast. Leave us a raving review to tell others how Better Daily has helped you in your journey. If you want more Better Daily, download our app and join our Betterment family at betterdaily.live. Use code POD to get 25% off your subscription. That's POD, all caps, to save 25% on your subscription. We all have a cross to carry. It's lighter when we do it together. Go to betterdaily.live today.